Hello, today I'm going to be making a snoot with a grid for one of my speedlights. This is the item in question here, and basically it's used to concentrate the light, the beam of light from the speed gun, whereas normally it would flash out everywhere. With one of these it's directional, so it forms a beam of light, so you can get a nice little spotlight from your speedlight. Now this is made of cardboard and straws, and it's very easy to make. Now I'm going to start off with a piece of card. This was one of the early ones that I made, but I decided to put a lip on it to make it look a little better. I don't know if you can see that in the light. But this one here has a bit of a lip on it, so it looks a bit smarter. So that's what I'm going to do now, and to make the lip I'm going to use a piece of card. It's quite thick card, it's mounting card that I use for mounting my photographs. So I'm just going to cut out a wee bit off that. You can be precise and measure it, but I find this is just as good. Get the rough size that I want, and I'm going to make it about, what's that, 9 centimetres. So I'm going to cut a piece 9 centimetres. Which is there. And that's going to form the base of my grid. So I'll get a piece of tape of roughly that size. I'm using silver tape at the moment because I've run out of black, but black looks a little bit better. And just stick that along the edge, and then just fold it in a couple of times, and that's going to form one lip along the edge of my grid. So just cut that down to size there. Now I've already cut out the straws. The longer the straws are, the more concentrated the beam of light will be from your speedlight. So these are about 1.5 inches, and I'll start the first one just sticking it on there, so butting the edge up to the straw. Now for the rest of them I'm going to use glue, and I'm going to use a glue gun. So I'm just going to dab a touch of glue along the side, get my next straw, and then butt it up to the front ledge, like that. Just another bit of glue, up to the edge. And you just keep doing that until you've finished the first row. So when you've done your first row, you just need to go back to the beginning and start again, and this time you just need to make sure that the glue catches both sides of the straw that the new one's going to touch. Dab it in there, and then add your next straw so that they're overlapping, and then you just go up along, building up the lines as you go. Now I happen to know, because I've made a couple, that there are 9 rows of straws in the depth of my grid there, so I'll just build it up until I've got 9 complete rows. Okay, so I've completed my grid, 9 rows of about 14 I think straws. It's surprisingly solid when it's all stuck together. As I say, I used a glue gun. You can use other types of glue, although I do find the wood glue a bit brittle after it's dried. Anyway, so that's the first section. Now I want to make the sides. I'll just make them slightly longer than they need to be. And like I did with the bottom edge, just stick that onto the edge of the tape, and then fold it over a couple of times. Like so. And cut the end of the tape off. Stick that down to the straws. Just cut the edge of the tape there and fold that over. And then on this side exactly the same. There. Now what I would normally do is just make sure that these corners here aren't going to flap about like that, so I'm going to stick them together with a bit more tape. Just make sure the tape goes all the way around the edge. There, so that's the first section complete. That's the grid box. So now we need a way of getting the grid to fix to the Speedlight. And what I've used is some foam. So you can get these in art shops. This is funky foam, and it's just black foam. Comes in all different colours. So I want I want there's about 2 inches there plus an inch onto there, so that's going to be about 3 inches. So there's the foam that I'm going to use, and that'll go around, that'll go around like this. And then that'll slot over the Speedlight. So, I'll get a little bit of tape. Now I'm just going to fold some of the in a little bit, so that we get a bit of a cone going on like that, and then that'll fit better onto the Speedlight, so we can give it a little tuck. So it's going to be about like that. And I'm just going to run round with the tape and fix it all in position. So there we go. Then Gridded Snoot. Then that'll slide over the Speedlight like so. Now it will stay on, you know, if you're not moving it about too much, but if you want some extra security, just one of my little Velcro straps. And pull that nice and tight. And that just gives it a little bit of extra purchase around the head of the Speedlight. And there we have it. So there's one that I've just made. This is the one I did earlier. It's a little bit, straws are a little bit longer. And then I did one earlier on. The straws are about that length as opposed to that length. And the longer the straws, the smaller the cone of light will be. So I've got a little selection there. And so I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll show you some results shortly.